The Cougar pit stops begin. Leslie will move through first. And second place Donahue also has to pull in. Apparently something more is needed than fuel and a routine tire check. Mark's serious conversation with crew chief Roger Penske and the fact that the hood is up could have an ominous meaning. But the car is judged fit to return to the fray. Titus continues to click off laps in first place. And Donahue retains his command of second. Now both Gurney and Jones are in the pits together with mechanical trouble. Gurney's clutch is broken, and Jones has lost a rocker ball. It's all over for these two Cougars. As the story of Sebring moves into its last minutes, Jerry Titus maintains his unbreakable grip on first place, leaving an awesome string of broken cars and bested drivers behind him. Ed Leslie is running an unhappy fifth, while Gurney and Jones sit in the pits watching the force go by. For the Cougar crew, this has been a dark day indeed.
After two initial losses, the Cougars turned that series around and won 3 straight races. We're going to see the first of those 3 at an obscure racetrack in Texas. And then a couple of good old boys temporarily stand in for the road racing stars as the series moves to Marlboro, Maryland. Here again, Les Kiter and more of the 1967 Trans-Am Series.
As the Trans-Am Series moves to the Green Valley Raceway near Smithfield, Texas, Team Cougar is mad and determined. A man like Parnelli Jones doesn't like to lose at any time. And when it's 2 in a row, something's got to give. Jones, teammate Dan Gurney, and crew chief Bud Moore bring the cars as close to perfection as human ingenuity can get them for the start in the blistering Texas heat. During the early lap, Gurney places himself just behind the leader, waiting for the inevitable mechanical attrition to clear some of the traffic on this short, tight track. A succession of Mustangs take the lead, then fall out, while Gurney and Jones press on inexorably. The heat claims some, and some are simply outdriven by the hard-charging Cougars. Steadily, the maroon and gray Catamounts broaden their lead. Then Parnelli has to pull into the pits. This gives the lead to Gurney, and in 1-2 order, with the closest contender 3 laps back, they cross the finish line. It's not just the Texas heat that makes the champagne so delicious today. The Cougars win 2 more races. By the time the series reaches Marlboro, Maryland, Cougar is now leading the competition for the Manufacturers' Championship. 2 new drivers, stock car aces Cale and Leroy Yarbrough, have temporarily replaced Gurney and Jones, while Ed Leslie will drive the second Cougar. Perhaps more than any other race thus far in the series, this can be anyone's victory. Cougar and Mustang are battling hoof and claw for the lead. But Mark Donahue's Camaro has won the pole position, and he knows this track better than any other driver here. After all, he learned to drive at Marlboro. The start, which is frequently a short run to disaster here, gets off cleanly. Donahue, Leslie, Jerry Titus, and Dr. Dick Thompson are jammed as tight as nuts in a candy bar going into the meandering first turn. But they all come out of it. For the first few laps, the lead is passed around faster than a good story at the Elks Club picnic. Titus takes it, then Leslie. Finally, Donahue ducks under the Cougar on a tight corner and comes out on top. The Marlboro track is tricky and demanding. Its endless series of bumps and corners places a formidable strain on car and driver. A feel for the course and its varied rigors can be a tremendous advantage to a driver, as Donahue is proving. He's slowly edging his car farther and farther ahead of the rest of the pack. Just a few lengths back, the 2 Cougars and Jerry Titus's Mustang are grappling for second place, and a clear shot at the rapidly vanishing Donahue. Up till now, Camaro has been a sleeper in the Trans-Am competition, never placing better than second. But the potential for victory has always been there, and today the blue and gold rocket, meticulously prepared by Roger Penske, is really showing its form. Obviously, being the local hero doesn't hurt a driver's performance. Cale Yarbrough displays the flamboyant style that has thrilled stock car crowds as he almost flies around the track. His lap times are outstanding, but his driving tactics are eating up tires and costing him precious time in extra pit stops. Now only Ed Leslie is in the same lap as Donahue. Jim Adams has taken over the Titus Mustang, falling a full lap behind in the process. And coming out of the pits with Leroy Yarborough at the wheel, the number 15 Cougar is a good 2 minutes behind. It looks like a tight battle among Adams, Leslie, and Donahue. But the flying Camaro is a full circuit ahead of its two pursuers. And now the track begins to take its toll. Leslie's out, and only the Yarborough Cougar remains. Donahue's victory is virtually assured. The Camaro heads for the finish line all alone, cracking the Trans-Am Series wide open. With the Camaro win and Ford second place, only 5 points separate the Mustangs, Cougars, and Chevrolets. On and on they race across the Continental Divide to California. Mustang wins at Modesto, then Cougar triumphs at Riverside to pull into the lead again. At Stardust International Raceway in Nevada, Mark Donahue again plays the spoiler. For the second time, he turns the series upside down. His victory upsets the adjusted point standings of both Ford and Mercury. They're only 1 point apart, but Mustang is now ahead. The final race of the series must decide the championship. We'll bring you that dramatic showdown in just a moment.